Hi, and welcome to another episode of Ben's Day Off. Today we're going to be doing French vanilla ice cream, and we're going to be doing homemade caramel sauce. Right now, all we're doing is creaming together 3/4 of a cup of sugar and 5 egg yolks with the whites separated and removed. So once I'm done creaming that together with just a little bit of salt, we're going to set it off to the side. And then we're going to continue on with our milk and cream mixture. It's the next day and we're ready to make our ice cream. So we're going to take our freezer bowl out of the freezer, which has been in there for well over 24 hours. It has to be as cold as absolutely possible, and you want your mixture to be as cold as possible as well. It's been in the fridge all night long, so we are good to go. So all we're going to do is turn our machine on, and then we're going to pour our mixture in and let it go for about 20 minutes until it's thick and creamy. And then we're going to add in our score bits. And once it mixes in, we'll just put it into a Pyrex dish with a little bit of wax paper on top and then put it in the freezer. And then we will be ready to make our caramel. And last but certainly not least is our homemade caramel sauce. Now this recipe, this is only my third time making it, and I'm not going to say it's tricky, but I absolutely burnt it the first time I made it. So make sure you keep an eye on this because it goes from an amber to almost a chocolate very, very quickly. So you got to watch this. All we're doing here is taking a cup and a half of sugar and a 1/4 cup of water and you're just going to let that heat up on a medium to medium high heat. And it's going to take probably 7 to 8 minutes. And you don't want to touch it. You don't want to stir it. They do say that you can kind of take a pastry brush and wet down the sides just to try to keep some of the sugar from sticking. And you can do that. I didn't bother doing it, and it still turned out fine. But you're just going to let this cook until it becomes almost like an amber caramel color is what you're looking for. And then once it kind of hits that caramel color, you take it off the heat, and then you add in a cup of whole cream or whipping cream, and that is at room temperature. And you have to be very careful when you add this in. Just add in a little bit at a time, because the steam that comes up is very, very hot, and you can get a steam burn on your hand very quickly and very easily if you are not careful. So I do just kind of move it around a bit, not really stirring it, but I will just kind of move the pot just to kind of keep things moving along. And then once I add in my cream, then I'll add in my 4 to 5 tablespoons of butter. This is still off the heat, mind you, until that's all melted in. And then I'll put it back on the heat for about 3 minutes, and I'll let that boil. It'll bubble up, all that cream will bubble up, and you'll just keep stirring it. And then once your 3 minutes are up, we put it in a mason jar, let it cool, and then put it in the fridge overnight. And I forgot to mention, after you add in your butter and your cream, before you put it back on the stove to boil, I do add in about a teaspoon of vanilla and just a little bit of salt. And it was a hit. Everything turned out great. Everyone really enjoyed their caramel score sundaes. I always really enjoy making ice cream, and the caramel, even though it's something new, I really enjoy doing that as well. Thanks for being part of my day off. Well, it was certainly worth it in the end. Everything turned out spectacular. It was all delicious, and everybody thoroughly enjoyed their Score caramel sundaes. And I just want to thank you again for joining in and being a part of my day off.